911, what's the address of your emergency?
Ma'am, my dad's been shot. Help! Somebody help me!
When a hunting trip takes a devastating turn, a teenage boy fights to keep his stepfather alive. But as the investigation unfolds, what first appears to be a tragic accident will quickly become a case built on suspicion, secrets, and revenge.
He had a look on his face. It was almost like he felt like he succeeded at part of his plan.
It almost seems like he gets excited talking about it, like he wants to talk about it.
Absolutely guaranteed this guy's a psychopath. He's a sick mother.
A 17-year-old boy walks in his stepfather's exact footsteps for 600 yards through a snow-covered field, then calls 911 to report a hunting accident. 9 minutes later, that story starts falling apart. This is the case Michigan investigators would spend over a year unraveling, one contradiction at a time. Before we get into what happened in that field, you need to know who Kurt Stubbins was, 41 years old. A landscaper who ran his own business and, according to the people who knew him, was the kind of man who showed up. He was engaged to a woman named Jennifer. He was a stepfather to her son Trenton and a father to a 16-year-old daughter of his own, a girl who had already lost her biological mother when she was 2 years old and who, by every account in this case, considered Kurt the one steady presence in her life. On November 30th, 2023, Kurt drove out to a property in Lenawee County to go hunting with his stepson.
The following is based on official police records released to date, and the footage has never been seen before until now. On November 30th, 2023, dispatchers in Lenawee County, Michigan receive a desperate call for help.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hey, Dad, where are we? Dad! Ma'am, my dad's been shot.
He's been shot?
Yeah.
How was he shot, sir?
I don't know.
You don't know?
He never drove home. The 911 call comes in at 12:36 in the afternoon. A young male voice, breathless, tells the dispatcher his dad has been shot. The dispatcher asks the obvious question, were you hunting? Is that how he got shot? The caller says yes, that he heard a boom, that his father dropped, that he doesn't know how it happened. He's told to keep pressure on the wound and stay on the line. For the next several minutes, you hear a boy pleading with a man to squeeze his hand, to stay awake, to hold on.
As the caller's location is showing somewhere in the woods, the dispatcher makes an educated guess as to what happened.
Okay, are you hunting? Is that how he was shot?
Yeah, my dad's been shot, please, ma'am. He got shot in the back. I found the wound, but it didn't go all the way through.
Did you see this happen?
All I know is I heard a alarm boom. Ma'am, I have to call my mom.
The caller, 17-year-old Trenton Barry, is told to stay on the line while the dispatcher's colleague contacts his mother. She instructs Trenton to lay his stepfather flat on his back and keep pressure on the wound until first responders can get to them.
Dad, stay with me. Dad.
Okay. Yep, keep talking to him, okay?
Dad, stay with me, please. My mom on her way, ma'am?
Yep, your mom's on her way.
Should I fire my gun to let them know where I'm at?
Nope, don't fire your gun because your mom's going to be there to drive them back to you, okay?
They're coming, Dad. Dad, they're on their way. Please squeeze my hand. Dad, squeeze my hand. Dad. Kurt, squeeze my hand.
Is he talking to you at all?
No, but he's still breathing.
He's still breathing? Okay.
I hear the siren.
You hear the siren?
Yes, I see it. Come.
They see you?
Drive, now.
Do they see you?
No, help.
Keep yelling for them. I want them to hear you.
Help. I need some help over here. Help, somebody help me.
It is, by any measure, a devastating thing to listen to. It is also, investigators would later determine, not the whole story. When deputies and paramedics reach the scene, they find Kurt Stubbins lifeless in the snow, a single gunshot wound to his back, just left of his spine. Trenton is beside him, hands soaked in blood, telling the first officers on scene that they'd been walking back toward the truck when he heard a boom and turned to find his stepfather down. He says his own gun was empty. He says he unloaded it, dropped it, took off his coat. It's the account of a panicked teenager who just watched a man die in front of him, and for the first hours of this investigation, it's treated exactly that way.
A deputy arrives where medics have unloaded an off-road vehicle, preparing to navigate the snow-covered terrain and reach the victim. At the same time, Trenton's mother, Jennifer, is trying to find their exact location using Life 360.
I have my kid in my...
They're both out this way?
I Life 360. One of them, please.
Sounds like the victim's to the east of everybody. No, about 400 yards.
From there.
To the north of you. It's going to be to the north of you.
Thank you. Clear.
Great.
No.
They're trying to.
You can show us location contact now.
Clear down to.
I cannot move. Please. Please, Dad. Please tell me on the phone. Wait till my mom gets here. My mom on her way? Officer, can I use your phone to call my mom?
Sure.
Where is he hit? Do we know? In the back. In the back. Yes. Yeah. Yes, please start cutting this stuff off, please.
His stepfather, 41-year-old Kurt Stubbins, appears lifeless and gray, with his eyes wide open and staring blankly.
Where's his firearm?
Right here. Wait,
Both firearms are
here's
here.
just the shotgun. Yeah. That one's my dad.
Good.
Mine's 50.
Though Trenton hesitates to let go of the wound, he finally releases pressure, and blood begins pouring from his stepfather's back.
Where was he at? Where was he located when the shot was?
I was walking up boom and he was like shot in the back.
He was right. You guys were here?
Yeah.
So he's walking back from his hot spot?
We were coming around here because, we were going to go back to the truck.
And he dropped right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
While
The lead
paramedics-
detective tells him more than once that if this was an accident, if he simply tripped and the gun discharged, that's not a crime. That's just tragedy. Nobody in the frame of that conversation is treating Trenton as a suspect. But physical evidence doesn't care how sympathetic a story sounds, and the physical evidence in this case almost immediately refuses to cooperate with it. The first problem is the magazine.
Mag is right there. Right there.
I'm just going to check it.
Yep. I can only hold 3 rounds in that mag.
Did you have one in the chamber as well prior to?
I don't. There should only be 2 in that mag.
So you did fire one?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
There was one in the chamber. I unchambered it,
Did that one
and
go in
it
the snow?
flew over here somewhere.
Okay.
It flew in this direction.
And that's a live round. It's not a...
Yes, it is live.
Okay.
It is live.
Okay.
It is live. It is
Trenton
live.
tells investigators his rifle holds 3 rounds and that all 3 are accounted for. Investigators do the math. If nobody fired a shot, there should be 3 live rounds in that gun. There are, which means, on his own account, no one fired the weapon that killed Kurt Stubbins. That doesn't add up, and the detective says so, plainly on camera to Trenton's face. We need this to be 4.
So we have a little issue. We do have 3 live rounds, and that's what the magazine takes. So that doesn't mean you can't put a mag in and throw a bullet in, or put a bullet in and put the mag in. So I'm going to go interview him on that real quick, but it sounded like, no, you just had the 3 in the mag. So whatever.
Yeah.
That's an issue. Because we need a bullet. We need another, it needs to be 4.
The second problem is the burn pattern.
At hand.
Nobody else, footprint-wise, was in that instant field right there. There's 3 fields, kind of close. Nobody else. There's no other tracks. When I show up, it's us creating tracks. So I'm confident.
I'm afraid of.
But I'm confident nobody's within 400 yards of where this occurred. One thing that does look like maybe it was an accident close by is because of that, what we call burning, or the gray black around. It's on orange on the jacket.
That's close. You would think. That's super close to Charlie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I don't know what was moving. That was
What I don't see is any other holes.
Would you testify that's consistent with 8 yards? If I need you to.
I mean, that's close. There's the burnings on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
that's super close.
Investigators note charring, gray and black residue around the entry point on Kurt's jacket. That kind of scorching happens at close range, consistent with a shot fired from a matter of feet away. Not the 8 to 10 yards Trenton claims separated him from his stepfather when the gun allegedly discharged during a fall. The third problem is the tracks.
Yep. If you guys have anything else to ask, you can have my mother present, please.
Absolutely.
Sorry to have you guys come out here on such a beautiful day. Yep.
Drone footage and DNR officers walking the full 600-yard path from where the group started to where Kurt fell find something investigators don't expect. Not 2 sets of footprints. 1. Trenton had walked, step for step, directly inside his stepfather's own footprints the entire distance. When asked why, in his second interview, months later, he tells the detective it was something Kurt taught him, a hunting habit, nothing more. The detective is skeptical. Michigan hunter safety guidance is explicit that a hunter walking behind another person should carry the muzzle pointed away from them. Trenton was demonstrating the opposite. And then there's the smallest detail, the one that never shows up in a police report as evidence, but sticks with anyone who watches the footage. In the middle of the scene, while Trenton is rocking back and forth sobbing, telling a deputy his stepfather can't die, he turns without any apparent transition and says, "Sorry to have you guys come out here on such a beautiful day."
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to. You know what? And he loved you and you loved him. I didn't mean to.
Following his apology, Jennifer gently touches Trenton's shoulder, but soon pulls away. The detective ends the interview with the family for now, and Trenton apologizes for the earlier deception.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys the truth.
That's what I told you. Hey, the important thing is we sat down and it all came out, okay?
It's such a strange, disconnected thing to say in that moment that even the retired detective and polygraph examiner brought in to analyze the footage flags it. It's the kind of detail that doesn't prove anything on its own.
But one message she sent was very clear regarding her fears. Kurt's daughter writes, "I feel like I'm next. Trenton has almost shot him before hunting. He used to threaten to shoot us all and put a gun to my dad loads."
So there was an incident a few years ago where Trenton and my dad were arguing. Trenton got mad. Jennifer wasn't there. I was sitting on the couch. Trenton walked out of his room with one of the guns, and it was loaded, and he was threatening to shoot everyone and everything because he was mad. And then my daddy had to kind of like push him back and everything, and Trenton tried wrestling him, so my dad kind of had to restrain him a little bit. My dad just, I don't know, he told Trenton to put the gun down and everything, and he yelled at Trenton. He didn't like back down or anything. He just stood his ground right there, like he did not move. And he was telling Trenton, and he grabbed the gun out of Trenton's hand and everything, and he told him to go to his room.
But once you've seen it, you can't unsee it, and it sets the tone for everything that follows. Confronted with the ballistics, the footprints, and the burn pattern, Trenton changes his story. He says maybe he tripped.
We used 2 canine, state police canine dogs. We used metal detectors. We did not find it. Did you end up taking the spent one and just put it in your pocket?
Nope.
Okay, so where is that spent shell casing?
Should still be out there in that field.
Okay. It did match, the slug from that gun did match the one that I removed from his body. So it's confirmed that that bullet came from your Savage 350 that you had. So when you walked, I had my DNR officers walk the exact path all the way around. 1, to make sure there's no other foot and shoe impressions, and 2, to make sure there's no vehicle impressions. But when they did it, they're like, literally, it is like one person walked. And by that I mean, you're walking right in his footsteps the entire distance of approximately 600 yards.
And then he's walking right inside the steps the whole way.
Oh, Dad?
Yeah. And it looks like there's just one set of tracks, but there's double tracks. So he is literally in every track.
He can't quite remember, he says, because he hadn't taken his medication that morning. He apologizes to his mother for not telling the truth the first time.
What also leaves the detective concerned is a comment Trenton made while they were waiting together at the scene.
You sit on the ground at one point, and you're rocking back and forth, crying, which is completely understandable, saying things like, you can't die, and then you just instantly turn to me and go, oh, it's a beautiful day.
Sorry to have you guys come out here on such a beautiful day. Yep.
For a moment, it looks like the case is resolving into something simple. A terrified kid, a genuine accident, a lie born out of panic rather than malice. Then the messages surface. Kurt's 16-year-old daughter had been messaging a friend for weeks, describing fear that something...
This is what I want to do. I just wanted to give you that opportunity that, hey, I'm a man and a son of a... I accidentally did something. That's it. That's that. Because I have to give a recommendation. This is all said.
I can't remember.
Okay. Why do you think that is? Any idea?
Because when I usually don't take my meds, my mind screws with me.
That's another reason.
My mind screws with me.
If you don't remember that, and if that's what it was, you didn't have your meds today, then that's that. If you now think, son of a, that is what happened, we'll deal with it. You're not going with us today.
But I want you to speak the truth.
I probably could have tripped.
Okay. All right.
I probably could have tripped.
Okay. And then did it go and gone off at that point?
If you did, just
speak the truth. Don't say
I can't remember if I did or not, but I think I did trip.
Okay. All right.
Is that what you're sticking to?
Yeah.
You're not saying nothing else.
I think I did trip.
Okay.
She described an incident where he grabbed a loaded gun during an argument and threatened the whole household before Kurt physically restrained him. And in a message the detective would later confront Trenton with directly, she wrote that he had touched her inappropriately more than once over the course of roughly 2 years.
Additional Snapchat messages his stepsister sent to her friend. They read, quote, "He's forcibly touched me before and threatened to hurt my dad or me. I don't have anywhere to go that's safe. I want to run."
Appropriate things may have happened between you two when Mom and Kurt weren't present at the home. She said this happened over the past couple of years. Okay, so, and she was just estimating. She said she could count about 10 times this past year of you in her presence.
No.
Okay. She also said that I believe you're going to Dad's house one day, and you went to go give her a hug, and you had one arm around her like this, and then with your other hand, you reached up and grabbed her breast. Did that ever occur?
No.
No. Another instance, she said that you were all in the living room sitting on the couch watching a movie, and you kind of reached like through the cushion and up and grabbed her butt area.
No.
Do you know why she would tell us? Why she would make that? Does she hate you in other situations? Has she made up other stuff about you like that? Or what?
I mean, I think she'd be jealous because I was hanging with Kurt all the time. I want to face my accuser.
Trenton denies it on camera flatly, immediately. His mother says it's the first she's hearing of any of it. The allegation is never resolved in the interview room, but it changes the shape of the case because it hands investigators, for the first time, something Trenton might have had a reason to want Kurt gone. The case takes its most damning turn after Trenton is arrested and jailed on a charge of assaulting a family friend's adult son weeks after the shooting. An assault in which witnesses say Trenton told his victim, "When I'm done with you, I'm going for your dad next."
His appearance gave Trenton a dab of marijuana to help calm him down, which seemed to have an adverse effect.
And then he started like mumbling, like he was talking to himself, or like, like the angel demon thing, like he was talking to two different, I don't know what. And then he turned to me and he's like, "It's your fault." I go, "What?" He's like, "I'm gonna kill you." And he started coming at me, like walking up on me menacingly with fist clenched. I said, "Dude, calm down. What's wrong? What's going on?"
Brad says he wanted to take Trenton home and settled him down enough to get him into the passenger seat of his truck.
Seemed fine, and then in the passenger seat, he seemed to be talking to himself again, saying, "No, I can't." Then he started demanding that I would stop the truck. I go, "Why? What's wrong? Are you okay? What's wrong?" He goes, No, nothing coherent in terms of a sentence. Like, just, he tried to piece something together, something about his dad and his mom at first, and then he kind of just dropped it.
When you say dad, we talking about Eric or?
I'm assuming Kurt.
Brad then decided to call Trenton's mother, Jennifer, and that's when things took a violent turn.
"Are you on the phone with my mom?" "No!" And he started wailing into me, grappled me with one arm, and was punching me on the left side. And I remember screaming and yelling to him, "Stop, stop, stop."
Once inside the county jail awaiting trial, Trenton allegedly can't stop talking. Multiple inmates independently come forward with strikingly consistent accounts. One says Trenton told him he didn't kill his stepdad by accident, that he deliberately avoided wearing a particular pair of shoes so he'd have an excuse for how he fell.
Could not be trusted with dark secrets. According to one of them, Trenton began butting heads with an inmate named Ed, leading to a chilling confession.
He says, I'm gonna kill him, dude. I'm gonna kill him. Like referring to Ed, right? Because he pisses him off all the time, And I said to him, like, hey, you should be careful with saying like that. You remember you are in here for a murder case, and that's not gonna help you someday. Like saying all that. And he said, it doesn't matter anyways. Everybody knows that I didn't kill my stepdad on accident. And I said, what? What are you talking about? Why do you say stuff like that, Is that true? And he said, yeah, something about not wearing his shoes, his shoes that he was supposed to wear that day, so that he would have a reason why he fell, or why he made it look like he fell. And, then he could say that the gun went off. And I'm like, whoa. And I said, well, what were you even pissed off at him about? And he said, well, he kept saying stuff about my stepsister. He said that there was some incident that happened with his stepsister and, him something inappropriate.
Another says Trenton described taking a knee, raising the rifle, and firing, describing himself, in his own words, as a real good shot.
Confessions.
He said, I'm a real good shot. When I shot Kurt, I did it from one knee, from the hip. And then he said, I shot through a hole this big. Trenton Barry is a scary man.
Right. Based on what I've listened to, yes, according to what you said.
I'm a freaking hard.
A third inmate, a man who says he spent 21 years in prison and been around, in his words, many, many murderers, tells investigators Trenton offered him $5,000 to kill his stepsister before she could testify against him.
I'm a freaking hardened criminal, dude, and I wouldn't trust that guy around my dog.
According to the inmate, Trenton learned that his stepsister was planning to testify against him at his trial, and Trenton made him a disturbing offer.
He said, you're getting out soon, My mom and dad, I can get money. My mom and dad, I'll pay you $5,000 if you kill that. The more I was around him, the more alarmed I was about how absolutely guaranteed this guy's a psychopath. Just the way, I've been in prison for 21 years.
None of these accounts on their own would be enough. Jailhouse confessions are notoriously unreliable, and defense attorneys are right to treat them with suspicion. But stacked against the ballistics that didn't match his story, the single line of footprints that shouldn't have existed if his account were true, and the burn pattern that contradicted the distance he claimed, the picture stopped looking like an accident that got mishandled and started looking like a story built, piece by piece. To survive scrutiny it was never going to survive. In November of 2025, nearly 2 years after Kurt Stubbins died in a snow-covered field with his stepson's hands pressed against his back, Trenton Barry pleaded no contest to a reduced charge of second-degree murder. The remaining charges, including the alleged assault and the alleged threats against a witness, were dropped as part of the agreement. He was sentenced to 12 to 50 years in prison. He will be eligible for parole in February of 2036 when he is 29 years old.
They accepted a plea agreement in November of 2025, pleading no contest to a reduced charge of second-degree murder, and all the remaining charges were dropped. He was sentenced to 12 to 50 years in prison and will be eligible for parole in February of 2036 at the age of 29. Watch our full videos as they were...
What this case leaves behind isn't a clean resolution. It's a reminder of how much weight investigators place not on what a suspect says, but on what the ground, the ballistics, and the footprints refuse to lie about. Kurt Stubbins didn't get a trial where his version of events could be heard. The only account that survived was pieced together after his death, out of scorch marks, magazine counts, and the space between two sets of boots that turned out to be one.